Yes, how's everything?
I caught a cold.
Okay.
Imagine, like all the winter, I was like fine without any flu, without any complications, and now I'm just like a child. Yeah,
Yes,
that happens.
that's okay.
But
It's been
I
a while since I caught a flu. To be honest, I am doing amazing. We're on that part of my life.
Yeah, I was doing amazing as well, and I was just bragging about it with everyone, with my friends and my family. Like, I did not get a flu in this month, and so on. And yeah, now
Mm.
I'm paying for bragging. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
It happens. It's okay. But I think a lot of people are getting flus, but I'm basically doing much fine than my first year in Spain. I got a lot of flus, to be honest, and then I guess I kind of get used to it, and so now I'm okay.
Yeah, I guess it happened with me as well. I do not remember it was the first year or second year that I like every week I had the flu and I was just recovering a week and then again I had the flu. Um, and then it just felt okay. But yeah, the summer you should get some.
Yes.
If you can catch a boyfriend, you should catch a flu. That's okay.
That's true.
That's true.
Flu is better option, I guess, in that situation.
And to be honest, I was feeling the same because last time on Instagram, I have been watching couple therapy sessions, which is a documentary not made up. I'm going to send you a link if you have a free time. And I was like,
Mm.
okay, um, I'm looking at life with another point of view now because there was so much things in those series, like between couples, so many, like so much mess. And you look at it and you know that these people are love each other, but still there's so much mess. So I was like, okay, I'm okay with my flu. I'm okay that I caught it, not a boyfriend, because I don't know. This seems like troubling. That's hard.
Oh, it's very interesting. I think with couple therapy, it's good because last episode we talked about like what's the toxic therapies, I guess, in the Western cultures. I would say if it's a couples therapy, it's always kind of nice because unless you're like a super very good at communication and you're just like follow every rules, but which is also a little bit like suspicious. So maybe you go and check with therapist because you always have some problems. Maybe you are moving, maybe you have like kids and stuff like this. So I guess it makes sense to go on therapy maybe once in a month or something like this
Yeah.
with your partner just to check up if it's something that you feel comfortable with. But I would say, what is the like a good point to stop going to therapy? Like for you, what will be like? I reached this point and I'm like, okay, I may not go to therapy this month, for example.
Mm, for me, just like always an open option. Like I always say, I want to. First of all, I want to have financial stability to afford myself. Always go to the therapy when I feel like it, and like it's just not like a cheap thing. So you cannot just go and say, okay, today I'm going to enjoy this therapy session. So my view is just like to have these ongoing sessions, but most of the time uh, I try to not to reach the breaking point when I'm just like broken down and say, okay, I have to go now. I'm just like I have been to therapy. I have been going to therapy like 4 years, like 2 years or 3 years now. And I have developed some skills and some mechanism how to manage my problems. And when I know that my skills and the tools does not work in this situation I am in, I say, okay, I need to go. and I am discussing openly my questions or my doubts and my situation, and I am kind of uh, hearing the objective truth because sometimes when you're so much in your head that you just need to um, say out loud things, but with friends it's a little bit different. It's a little bit difficult for me, for example, because sometimes I feel the things that make me shameful, and I do not necessarily want to share it with friends because I'm like, how they are going to see me if they know this part of me. So with therapy, it's just like you know that these people have seen some shit, so they are not good. They probably will judge you, but you're not going to surprise them with anything. So I feel like free. So basically, just like when I know that my tools does not solve my situation, I go and say, hey, I need the help now. I need like for you to teach me something new because I do not know what to do. And it works quite well for me.
I agree with if you're stuck, probably therapy could be something that make you like untangled, like yeah, I'm like if you're on the loop also, it's very devastating. It can waste years. So like I'm doing this and I do this and this, and it's going on the loop.
Yeah.
And always, and you're like you are kind of tired. Maybe you feel kind of happy in the middle of the this process in this loop, but at the end you're like, oh, I'm tired, but then it happens again and again. So I guess it's a good point to when you feel exhausted during this process they're going through to go to therapy, and maybe it will help you. Okay, maybe if I meet someone and I have anxious attachment style and then I attach too much to this person and then it breaks my heart. Now I feel very bad. What should I do? So you would give some good advice. But for me, it's more like when the therapy becomes toxic for you, it's like everything can become toxic if you're doing like too much. Like if you
Yeah.
are always in therapy and every day you have therapy session, it's like, do you actually need it? Do you have enough material for every day to go therapy and tell? Or you just going to therapy because you don't know what else to do? You think it's eventually gonna help?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably. I guess like people are like uh, trying to graduate from therapy sometimes. They're trying to get as much as they need or they do not need just to finish with it, and
No?
it's just not like you're not going to finish it. Like it's like a lifestyle. So it's the same with the gym. For example, you do not go to the gym and say, okay, I'm going to lift those heavy weights every day just to finish that, just to like max out and just go and sit in the house. You are going to the gym maybe sometimes once a week, and then 2 times a week, that's 3 times a week. And with therapy it works like reverse manner. You go like a frequent, you start with more frequent visits, and then you have some tools to work with yourself and to be comfortable with your problems, and then maybe twice a month, maybe once a month, and maybe however you see fit. So I had this one kind of friend who was like she was going, I guess she was going every week just to rent, just because she was very anxious and she was very emotional. But I guess it worked for her because now she doesn't go, she graduated. And she asked her couple as well to go with her because she was starting a relationship, so there was so much anxiety in her life. But I don't know, she used it quite well. And at this moment, she feels well. And I have been asking her if she wants to go back, like if she has problems. And she was like, I'm managing right now because, with some kind of things I have learned with therapy and so on. And probably in the future, she's going to go with her couple as well. And I like this kind of um, openness with her couple that she went with her husband. At that moment he was a boyfriend, so it was quite helpful for them. But also I know the people who do not really take anything from the therapy, they just go for talk, I would say.
I
So
There's
Yeah,
so many people who doesn't take advice and it's like, oh, it's something my therapist told me. I'm just gonna ignore it, go for my life.
and I feel like this therapist would be probably will be already stressed, but when you try to help a person and they come the same way with the same issue, with the same patterns of thoughts. For example, I was very overwhelmed last time because I have a gym. In my gym, there is a girl who is quite anxious and she loves talking. I mean, she adores talking, and you know, Spanish, when they start talk, they never really stop. And
Yeah.
um, I was really overwhelmed because every day before the competition, she was talking to me, she goes, and so on. And I was trying to give her advice. I would give her advice. She would go to home. The next day, she would come with the same problem. And she was ranting again and again and again. And I was like, okay, I do not know what to do about it. And I was feeling really overwhelmed. And then I thought she does not really care to listen. She doesn't ask me something for listening. She asks me something and she answers it with her opinions. And she does not talk in order to listen. She just wants to like dump her thoughts on someone and then go out and look someone else and I was like, okay, I shouldn't be stressing about it because this is the type of person she will do everything like with another person the same way that she's doing with me. And I was overwhelmed because I was like, she gives so much attention to me and I cannot really reciprocate it.
Right.
And with my help of my I talked about it with my therapist as well because I am having this situation and I feel shameful because you know we as women we started like you have to be supportive to another woman and so on and so on, and I was feeling ashamed that I'm not supportive to another woman, and so on. And I needed some kind of objective um, um, truth as well from my therapist, and she was like, okay, you should not be shameful because this is a type of person you are going to meet in your life. They are not going to listen for your input. They do not really require your input. They just want to talk, and that's okay. You just listen. You say okay, mm-hmm, like nod and so on, and you go on with your life because there is no like need to have this friendship. And if you do not feel like you want to be friends with her, that's okay because you are feeling something that is not authentic. And it's kind of true because I am when I am saying that you are having the same relationship with me as you are having like with 20 other people. I'm not saying one or two, like 20 other people. You are sharing the same way. I won't be like I won't be reciprocating this energy because I'm going to feel like you do not really care. You just like bubbly, extrovert, and so on. So that really helped with the situation, to be honest, because I do not feel shameful right now. I'm just like, I'm okay because we are with different kind of person. So that happens. So there are so many people just want to, so just they want to talk and do not really uh, require any strong bonds. And I am just like a more, how to say, I prefer to connect more deeper levels and to go in depth and to really understand what the humans, what as a person thinks. But
But it's like my other topic, it's about like a friendship and therapy. It's like a two different thing in a way that it could be very similar, but it's like if you are a friend and you are a friend because you are not getting paid to listen to this person, then you are not a professional who has a license to do therapy. So you are either friend or you are just like a stranger, which is if you are talking, we are friends. Like what a friend? A friend is a person you are talking to regularly, so that's a friend. You don't need to give like a too much deep meaning to this. So it's like one of sometimes, yeah, we have friends who usually I say people who talks a lot. This could not be right. Maybe I'm wrong, but people who talks a lot, they are mostly very alone people. That's how I view, because I used to talk a lot and I realized I'm talking a lot because I'm alone and I don't have anybody to talk to. And then when I find someone to talk to, I talk and talk and talk and never stop because I have this energy and want to release. I don't want to be inside of me. So it's like if you have the friend like this, I guess it's okay to listen to them, even though you are feeling uncomfortable. It's like you are compromising to your friend, so your friend feels much better. But it's a different topic, like if a person just talking in sake of talking, and maybe they are just don't care about you, so they want to talk about their lives all the time and they want to hear about you anything. So that's a different topic. That's like a bad person who doesn't want to compromise when they are talking. It's like they just talk and talk because you have to do something. Like you cannot just stand and be silent all day. You have to do something. So they just talk. It's the same thing like people who are, I guess you talk a lot because you want to avoid something. Maybe you want to avoid having a real friend because if you listen, you're getting more close to this person and you actually get a real friend. So it's like it could be something that you are avoiding. For example, if something could be happens in a real relationships if you're hooking up a lot, and
Mhm.
this is like a universal truth at this point. If you hook up a lot, it's because you are avoiding actual real connection with a human being and you prefer to have one night fun rather than an actually like date someone. I don't think about dates, like actually catch a feeling with someone. So it's much easier to hook up, which is like a talking version of relationships. It's like you prefer to just dump everything with your friend and just move on rather than actually make a real connection with your friend because maybe you are afraid of this something like, oh, I actually have a friend. I worry about my friend now.
Yeah, yeah, maybe.
It's
But yeah,
always avoiding something. If people do something uh how can I say, like exclusively a lot that
mhm.
other people are not doing, like a talking. Children are talking a lot. Some adults are talking a lot. So it's like kind of avoiding, and you are doing this exclusive thing to avoid something. Like I would not say hookups is like a quite popular one because a lot of people are avoiding now the feelings. So I would not say it's very exclusive, but a lot of people are doing very crazy stuff. For example, jumping off the bridge every week. It's like you don't need to do if you are actually don't want to avoid something. It's like okay.
Yeah,
Or also
it's
like it could be a good thing. It should not be like helping someone. Like some people are like very feeling very anxious to help someone, and they want to help everybody. Like they want to go and help every elderly in the area, for example. I would say it's okay, it's good if it's doing you healthy way, but if you are sacrificing your life to that, that means you are avoiding something. It could be working too much. I would say like exclusive things like this. Nobody wants to work. So why are you working so much if you are not avoiding something else?
yeah, 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 of course. With working, it's just like it happens a lot. For example, my friend was working so much, so hard when the pandemic started because her friend killed herself. So she was just overwhelmed with grief. So the work was the only thing that was keeping her sane and alive, to be honest. So and it's some kind of ironic because at that moment she worked so hard, so much that she also acquired so many skills, like without even her wanting that. Like she was not really thinking about skills and jobs, she was just overwhelmed. So yeah, I agree with that. And she was saying that it became a habit because she just wanted to escape. And after all, after 1 year, she discovered that she didn't really have life outside of it. She was so absorbed in the work, so she needed another type of things to really work on that to escape from that work because it's kind of escape also damaged her life. So I agree. This kind of excessively doing things is escaping from something like yeah, sometimes it's self-worth, like you have a self-worth problem and you are trying to do excessively something to just show the world that you mean something and you to be acknowledged. Oh, there's so many problems.
It's
Uh,
always like we want to avoid something, like it's very human nature, and it's always your ego. It's like a tricking you. Even though if I say I want to do something, your ego is always trying to find a way to avoid. Like if you, maybe you are very self known person, like you know what your problems are, and you say, okay, my problem is to go to gym, and I'm going to the gym a lot, for example, or say like a gym is a good example, I guess, because it's good for your body. But
mhm.
there is some toxic culture with gyms also. But let's say go to casino, for example, like oh, that's my problem. And then you say, okay, I'm gonna avoid casinos my whole life. But still, your ego is like a tricking you in a way that maybe you say, okay, I'm going to avoid casinos, but maybe I'm going to drink, for example. But you know, when you drink, you become more vulnerable for casinos, for example. So your
Yeah, yeah.
brain is always tricking you in this way. Okay, I'm going to go see my friend because I don't want to go to gamble. I'm going to just want to see my friend. But when you see your friend, you're going to drink. And when you drink, you're going to go gamble. You know, it's like, it's always tricking you in this way. It's like, to make you avoid things or to make you to do the continue the habit you are doing. Like your ego is like a machine who works for you to keep the routine going, like keep everything stable and nothing has to
Yeah,
change.
yeah, that's true. That's true. Keeps you
So it's
stuck.
always very very like it's very makes very hard to date this type of person who ego is like taking control over. Like let's say someone is working too hard and you try to date this person. If you say something, let's say, "Oh, you are working too much," it will be like, "Yeah, that's my job. I'm working. You don't want me to work. You want me to quit my job." It's always like very defensive, and your ego is always taking over you
Yeah, that's especially in
because
the relationships. Because you already have this comfort zone, and then someone comes in and asks you the
always.
question, and of course it makes you doubt yourself, and you become defensive because you're doubting yourself, and you should attack. um yes, it's in a relationship, it's much more difficult, and you have so much fear to just to do some things that are not, you have not. But I do not know. I do not know. To be honest, now lately I have a problem to understand what is like healthy fear when it tells me that you should not be doing this because there is a good reason to not doing this. And when the fear is just like very defensive, that keeps me from growing. Uh, because I do not really know.
It's
Sometimes I do not know.
because I think I was thinking about it a lot, and it's very connected to the discrimination also, and where all the discrimination comes, and it's very natural thing. Because I was reading about other day, like it's a very very basic human mind when you fear something. Like if I go to the this specific field and the lion attacks me, and I survived, and I went to home and I slept, and next day I wake up and I'm thinking, should I go to this field or the other field that lion didn't attack me? Of course I go to other field. I'm not crazy. I'm afraid of lions because they're gonna kill me. So it happened like this. Like now you are doing the same thing with everything. Like if I it should be like a very irrational things. Like I met a lot of people because in Georgia a lot of people are named my name Georgi. So I met a lot of girls who said I have dated Georgi and this boy broke my heart, and now I would never date another person whose name is Georgi. And I'm like, okay, but like half the Georgia is named Georg, so it's like
I'm just like you can
I
keep
could never
it.
date anybody because yeah.
Yeah.
It's very irrational because it doesn't mean that every person whose name is Georgi it's gonna be same. Also, it's not very rational to think if one day a lion attacked me in the forest, or for example, it doesn't mean that if I go the same spot, the same lion gonna attack me. It doesn't
Yeah,
make any sense, but it's fear. Like if you actually fear, you will never go there.
yeah.
So that's
They,
the catching you like ego is catching the stuff like this and makes you to do something to avoid this because it's not like your ego is your enemy, but it's like your friend who tries to keep everything stable and doesn't want anything to change. So it's always very hard to get a partner because partner means change, and your ego is like screaming. It's like, oh, I don't want to change. I just want a partner without change. which is very,
Yeah,
very hard. It doesn't exist
yeah. I observe many things, many people like this that want a partner but without a change, without a compromise, and without a commitment, which is like, okay,
impossible.
impossible. But so yes, that is the pattern probably here as well. Like with my fears, probably that's it because I had like 10 experiences, and in this 10, probably seven was okay and three was bad. And I am just so focused on this bad that I think that it's going to happen again. And yeah, naturally I experience fear. And naturally I do not want to experience this discomfort again. Uh, but what can you do? What else can you do? For example, after the competition, when I lost again this second time, the first time it was okay because it's the first time, and you say everything can happen. And the second time, you are more focused, you are more trained, you have spent so much time, so much energy, and you lose again. It was a strike on my ego. I have never imagined that I would be devastated so much. I was just like devastated, demoralized, everything. And now when the new competition is coming up, I'm just saying like, no, I'm not going to go, which is maybe okay if you like trying to, and I am searching the most possible logical reasons, because I'm saying because it costs something, because I should travel, because I should pay money, but
Yeah.
I know it's not about the money. I know, I'm sure, because it's just about the fear, because it is going to happen again. I'm going to lose again. I'm going to feel the same way. And at the end of the day, it just like I don't know, probably you have to make a decision that when you start something, there will be like years that you are going to suck, like 4 years. Like I'm saying like an example. And it's okay because everyone sucks like in their first years. Like even when we uh, started working for my job, it felt the same. Like first years horrible. The second year, horrible. The third year, worse. It wasn't getting better, it was getting worse actually, because I was exposed to many different experiences and I did not really have tools and skills to understand what was going on. But like after 8 years, probably I'm just like, whatever happens, I will be okay. So it's just like a natural process of development, a skill, or in sport, in life, and probably in relationships as well. I do not know. I do not want to talk about relationship and think about that. This is an upcoming problem in the
I
future
mean,
problem.
I would say relationships and jiu-jitsu are different skills. Probably you cannot learn, you
I
cannot
hope
be
so.
amazing.
I hope so. Like it will be different, but still, like what I'm saying is that I am trying to find logical reasons to overshadow my this fear of losing and the fear of that ego does not want to be like feel that kind of vulnerability again. So I'm just like looking for the reasons which may feel logical, but I know the truth. So yeah.
But recently, I don't know if it's a sign of growing up or I don't know, it's sign of toxicity maybe. But I started doing things even though I know I'm gonna fail. Like
Mhm.
maybe I'm like a 90%, like you never 100% sure, but maybe I'm like a very, very sure that I'm gonna fail. And I'm gonna know like, oh, I'm gonna tell someone that I love them, even though this person doesn't love me back. I already know it's like it's something like a you kinda know, but I'm still doing it, stuff like this. Maybe I like do something in my job, even though I know that I'm not gonna be successful in this part of the thing I'm doing, but I still will do this because I know even though I'm gonna fail, it's something that I want to do. It's like something that I would do it. Like for example, if you're writing a book and it's a book, it's not real life, and the book is all about yourself, would you make your own character, which is you, to do this thing, or you just try to avoid and say, okay, my character got a little bit scared and said, okay, I'm not gonna do this. You would probably write that, okay, my character knew that he probably would fail, but he's still doing this because that's what he does. He's the type of guy. So it could be
Yeah.
like a fighting. It's maybe you go and you're gonna lose again. Maybe you go the next day, next year, and next year. And every time you lose, and maybe that's the reality, but doesn't mean that it changes a lot of stuff. It
Mhm.
doesn't change anything because nobody's for winning. I know it's competition, and I know there's a prize, and someone wins, and first place, second place, but nobody's doing it actually
Yeah,
for
yeah,
that moment of winning. Everybody's doing because they enjoy doing it. Like
yeah,
every
definitely.
sportsman, every athlete is probably enjoying doing it. And
Yeah,
not
yeah.
everybody is like a money hungry, like a power seeking people who is like, oh, I need to win, and then that's only it.
Yeah, definitely. I've my last point was that what is going to change? You come back and say, I'm never going to do it again. I mean, it changes nothing. You go on Monday the same way, you train the same way, maybe a little more, maybe a little different because you understand something, got the concepts now, you understand more. So it changes like nothing. So uh, this was a good indicator because I did not really started it because of the competition. I did not really care the competition. It happened to me. I did not really look for it.
Because
So
it's a way, it's one of the it is the way to do this kind of stuff.
mhm,
You cannot do a sport without avoiding competition. You cannot be like you could be like maybe of the best in your sport, and you cannot just say, okay, I'm not gonna go any competition. Like you're gonna end up being in a competition if you're doing sport. There's a lot
yeah,
of competition, so why not just go and try out?
yeah,
So
exactly.
it's like also how long are you gonna be afraid of competitions if you just quit now? In one
Mhm.
year, 2 years, and then you're gonna come back again and you're gonna say, okay, I'm gonna compete. Like, why would you stop?
Yeah, 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 yeah,
You just
exactly.
wasted 2 years of competitions. It's just good competition. It's not even like about winning.
Yeah, exactly. This was my coach's point as well. So he was like, "So, what are you going to do when you are going? Now you suck. We know that objectively you suck, but one day you will know things and you are going to go to competition. So there will be someone who maybe sucks but has more experience of losing and being in this environment, knows the people and the environment and the stress. So you will be like the same way. You will be at this step one, and when you could just start now and enjoy enjoy the process. So
Yeah. The
this
same
is
thing. Ego is also like very strange thing because it fits your fears and also your love stuff you love. Like for example, for me, it's very very strange. But every time I see like Instagram shows me the videos or I see my friends are talking about this or something like this, couples sleeping in the same bed. For
mhm.
me, when I watch in the movie, for example, I'll be like, this is like good. This is like a most comfortable stuff. I want to do this. I want to have a partner who I'm going to sleep with. But if I ever actually try to sleep in the same bed with other person, it doesn't matter who this person is. It could be like your mom or your sister or someone like your friend or your partner or anybody. It's if you sleep with other person in the bed, it's very, very uncomfortable. I think everybody's going to be, especially in like summer. I
Yeah.
talk with my coworkers and my friends who have partners, and they say like we have two beds now because it's very very hot. So it's very uncomfortable to sleep with a
Mm,
partner that I love and I cherish, and this is my girlfriend or boyfriend, whatever. We cannot sleep in the same bed. It's very
mhm.
very uncomfortable, but still somehow my ego fits on this, and somehow my ego is like if I say I like someone, I'd be like, okay, I'm dating someone. It's like being in a bed with this person would be very nice. Even though it's not gonna be, it never is. But my ego is still feeding on this. Or it
Yeah.
could be like a fears of being alone. Like if I fear to be alone, I want to be alone. Nobody wants. It fits on it, and it's gonna tell, okay, be with this person because you are dating this person, and be with this, be in a relationship because you are afraid of being alone. So it's always feeding of stuff like this and kind of helps you a lot to move on and do stuff because that's what ego is for. It's again, it's like mechanism for you to be feel better. But
Mhm.
it's sometimes we are getting very, very lost and sometimes it's just avoiding the things, maybe feeding too much on the fear, maybe working on too much of what stuff you love. And you could make a very stupid mistakes like maybe you love your boyfriend or your girlfriend, but it doesn't mean that you have to sacrifice your whole life to the
Mhm.
person you love. So, but ego sometimes is telling you, okay, just do everything and just keep this person with you. You love this person so much, so do everything for this person and don't do anything for yourself. Very, very toxic thing, but it's a type of like a relationship also within yourself and your ego. And I think going on a therapy helps because if your ego is controlling you too much, you can go to therapy and your therapist is gonna say, okay, you're doing something wrong. Your ego has taken over, which is very scary stuff for me. It happened multiple times.
It's like Darth Vader coming in and saying, "Come to the dark side," and you're just like, "Okay, I'm going."
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like Goblin Mask in the Spider-Man is talking to you. It's like a ego talking to you like this. It's like do this, you're gonna feel better, and you're gonna do it, and it doesn't make you feel better. It's
yeah,
just same thing.
yeah, definitely. Oh, that's hard.
I always say like if you have problems, like a top, if you're writing your problems down and you say top 10, maybe 20 problems will be the something you caused or something that you can deal with it. It's within you. It won't be like outside of problem.
You have caused it, and in order to like avoid it, you caused another problem. It's just like a chain of problems you have caused because you didn't want to
No,
tackle with that.
it's not always fixing the problem. Sometimes it's like, okay, I have a problem. I'm gonna live with my problem.
Yeah, yeah,
It could be a very simple solution. Like I'm gonna just get comfortable with this problem, or maybe I see as a problem. Maybe it's not even a problem.
yeah.
So it's always your ego. It's always your ego doing stuff to you.
Yeah, yeah, just being comfortable with it. And if you cannot really my friend was telling me that as well about like when she had the issues with her body and her like outlook. She was like, one day I looked at the mirror and said, okay, I have this problem, this problem, this problem. What are the issues I want to solve? And she was like, nose. And she went to the surgery and she operated nose because she had this obsession. And she was like, okay, boobs. I'm okay with that. I can live with small boobs. And then she was like, okay, the other parts, I can live with that as well. So she was like, either you fix it or you start living with it and you are fine and it just disappears. And I was maybe not that easy. Sometimes it's not that easy. You cannot really operate on your problems, but yeah, more or less, you fix it or just have
You will never run out of problems. So
yeah.
it's like start fixing it, especially if you have a partner and you're trying to fix other people's problems, like your partner's problems. It's always going to be something, so you have to kind of live with it, I guess, at some point, because every person who tries to fix a lot about themselves and the surgeries and changing jobs and stuff like this is very brave. I'm not saying it's not brave to get a surgery. It's also a very brave thing, but it's still like you end up having problems still, so you cannot fix everything. So I guess every fixer person gonna be a very relaxed person at some point because it's gonna be like, okay, I'm not gonna fix this. I'm
Yeah,
just gonna be relaxed.
I would.
Right?
I guess I'm trying to reach the point right now in my life, and I say, okay, I'm not going to fix it. I'm just going to go with the
Yeah,
flow, and
that's very good. Which
that's
is
yeah. Let's say
yeah,
enjoy.
which is probably brings up to the end of this podcast. That's very
Yeah,
good. And time
it's,
is always uh passing or running out, so we have to stop it.
yeah. Wow.
Okay, bye then. See you.
Bye. Yeah.